In a quiet mountain village, surrounded by tall pine trees and dancing clouds, lived a young boy named Rihan. He was kind, gentle, and always willing to help others. But deep inside, Rihan carried a secret heaviness. He believed he wasn't good enough. No matter how hard he tried, he always felt like he fell short. If he drew a picture, he compared it to someone else's. If he tried to run, he felt slower than his friends. If he read out loud, he felt his voice wasn't confident enough. Every mistake felt like proof that something was wrong with him. Rihan quietly believed, maybe I'm just not meant to be good at anything. Every year, the village held a beautiful event called the Festival of Talents. Children would dance, sing, paint, perform tricks, and showcase their skills. The entire village would gather in the square to watch them shine under the lantern-lit sky. All the kids loved the festival, except Rihan. Whenever he thought about it, fear wrapped around his heart like a tight rope. What if I mess up? What if people laugh? What if I make a mistake in front of everyone? So year after year, he stayed in the crowd, clapping for other kids but never stepping forward himself. One morning, a traveler came to the village. His name was Ustad Harun, a retired music teacher with silver hair, warm eyes, and a smile that made everyone around him feel peaceful. He carried an old wooden flute tied gently with a red ribbon. The villagers loved him instantly. He offered to teach music to anyone who wished to learn, for free. Children rushed to him with excitement. Rihan watched from a distance, his heart wanting to join, but his fear pulling him back. Harun noticed him, the quiet boy standing alone. "Why don't you come? I can teach you too," he said warmly. Rihan shook his head. "I'm not good. I'll make mistakes. I'll ruin the music." Harun simply smiled. "Mistakes do not ruin music, my child. They create it. Come tomorrow. Just listen if you don't want to play." Something in his gentle voice touched Rihan. The next day, he went. The group gathered under a big banyan tree. Birds sang above them as Harun played a soft melody on his flute. So smooth, so perfect, it felt like the wind itself was listening. Then he handed small flutes to the children. Rihan hesitated, but Harun placed one gently in his hands. "Hold it like you're holding a story," he whispered. Rihan tried to copy the notes Harun played, but the flute squeaked and cracked and made strange sounds that made the other children laugh. Rihan's cheeks burned with embarrassment. He quickly lowered his flute. "See, I told you. I'm not good. I'll never be good." Harun didn't laugh. Instead, he touched the boy's shoulder and said, "Do you know what makes a flute sing? It's the holes." Rihan looked up, confused. Harun continued softly, "Without holes, the flute would only make one sound. The holes, the empty spaces, are what create music. Do you understand? It's the imperfections that give life to the melody." Rihan blinked slowly. His heart felt a small spark, a tiny warmth. Day after day, Rihan returned. At first, he still made mistakes, but Harun never scolded him. When Rihan squeaked a note, Harun said, "That's your flute learning your breath." When Rihan played too fast, Harun said, "That means you are excited. That's good." When Rihan got a note wrong, Harun said, "Every wrong note brings you one step closer to the right one." Slowly, very slowly. Rihan's fingers became steadier, his breath became calmer. The flute began to respond to him like a friend who finally understood him. One day, a strong windstorm hit the village. Many things broke, including Harun's old wooden flute. The villagers felt sad. They had loved hearing it. Rihan found Harun sitting under the banyan tree, staring at the broken instrument. "I'm so sorry," Rihan whispered. Harun smiled gently. "You know, this flute served me for 40 years. I traveled with it everywhere, but today the wind taught me something." "What?" Rihan asked. "That nothing remains perfect forever, and that's okay. Its cracks are a sign of its journey, its story." He ran his fingers lovingly along the broken wood. Perfection is not what makes something valuable, its story does. Rihan felt something shift inside him, a realization, a truth he had never understood before. The festival arrived again, lanterns glowed, music filled the air, parents cheered, children performed proudly. Harun turned to Rihan. "Will you play for them?" Rihan's heart jumped. I'll make mistakes." Harun smiled softly. That's exactly why you should play. Rehan looked at the crowd, his hands trembled, his breath shook. But then he remembered, the flute plays through its holes. Music exists because of imperfections. Nobody in this world is perfect. He stepped forward, the crowd grew silent. Rehan lifted the flute to his lips. His first note trembled slightly off, but he didn't stop. His second note was steadier. Then the third, then a soft melody began to float. Gentle, warm, full of emotion. He wasn't perfect, but he was real, honest, human, and that made his music beautiful. When he finished, the entire village clapped. Haroon's eyes shone with pride. After the performance, Haroon placed a hand on his shoulder and whispered, "Rehan, remember this. People don't admire perfection. They admire courage. And today, you showed courage." Rehan's heart filled with a joy he had never felt before. For the first time, he wasn't afraid of being imperfect. Dear friends, nobody is born perfect. Nobody lives perfectly. Nobody achieves without failing, learning, and rising again. Your flaws do not make you weak. They make you unique. They make you human. And sometimes the things you see as your mistakes become the very things that make your story beautiful. Just like Rehan, just like the cracked pot, just like the broken flute. You are perfect in your own imperfect way.